Welcome to the 3Haunted podcast, where we bring you all things horror, supernatural, folklore, mythology, and all things that go bump in the night.
What's up, everybody? This is your co-host, Ashley Lunar Goddess, Gorilla Girl filmmaker and horror-loving cinephile. I'm just your average podcast-producing badass.
And I'm John Thomas. If it's haunted, cursed, or just plain weird, I'm into it. From paranormal encounters, urban legends, count me in.
I'm DJ Sewura, an aspiring paranormal musician who plays live for the dead because the living just doesn't want to hear me.
What's up, ghouls, gals, and all of our paranormal pals out there? In today's episode, we'll be diving headfirst into the unknown, exploring flooded caverns, haunted shipwrecks, and eerie underwater graveyards. Joining us is fellow podcaster and paranormal investigator Josh, the animal, Edilla. Welcome to the show, Josh.
What's up? How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
I've been busy running around getting ready for a paranormal convention that we got going on this Saturday, so it should be it's a busy week.
Yeah, that's good stuff, though.
Yeah.
It's all of our favorite season, I'm assuming. It's a spooky season. It's Halloween time.
Yep. Yeah, I'm stoked. I can't wait. It's so much. This is what I love about Halloween because, like this is technically our season. You know, where we get to talk to so many people that do so many cool things, so many cool adventures, places, and just crazy things happen this time of year. So, but that's what we're in the business of. So I guess that's what we do.
Yeah, I just love it because everybody else gets on our wavelength, right? Everybody's into the spooky and the. I was about to start adding more words, but then I realized it was going to sound like the Addams Family song. So we're all a little bit creepy. Now, when we were talking to you previously, you kind of casually slid in right at the end. I'm a paranormal scuba diver. And I'm just like, what? You just let that in at the end? So, yep. Of course, I had to know. We had to know. What is a paranormal scuba diver?
Pretty much what a paranormal scuba diver. It's pretty much the same thing, but underwater. We do underwater shipwrecks, things that have been sunken underwater, and we do like EVPs underwater through these canister torpedoes, where we catch some live EVPs. We've seen balls of light out of nowhere come out of shipwrecks. We've heard weird phenomena voices underwater in these little air pockets in the shipwrecks, where you'll actually hear people talking inside those air pockets. So you can literally take off your mask in the ship underwater, which is pretty cool. So there's a lot of cool stuff that you get underwater than what you get, in the surface up above.
How do you even begin to train for that?
Well, number one, I've been honestly, it goes way back. Like my dad was a hard hat diver in the Navy. He trained me when I was, I think, 12 years old. I started. I'm 40. I'll be 41 now in December. So it's been a long time. I've been a diver for a very long time, and it takes a lot of training, a lot of patience. Because like I tell everybody, diving's not for everybody because it's claustrophobic. People, the air's clogged up pretty easily from people. People get scared once they put their head underwater. So it's not an everybody kind of sport per se. It's it just takes a person who really loves to be underwater and has the patience for it because it's a very deadly kind of sport. I've had close calls in caverns, almost where stuff happened, but yeah, it's a very you have to be very careful and train, and that's why like a lot of times before we do these dives, we go into these big deep pools and do our training there first before we go out into the actual water to do a shipwreck dive or stuff like that.
That's terrifying because I don't know if I will ever scuba dive. I don't know. Like I'm not claustrophobic necessarily. I like to swim, but like when you're going in those depths and like let's say you're in a shipwreck and you hear these noises and these voices,
Hmm.
like I'm I can't just go outside. I can't go out the front door and be like, I'm gonna go wait in my car. You can't, because again, if you extend too quickly, that's dangerous too, right? So you gotta, if there's something paranormal going on, you gotta just hang with them, right? Like,
Yeah, well, there's a thing called the bends, and if you freak out and go to service, you'll get the bends, and it could be pretty deadly. That's why they got hyperbaric chambers for that, for when you had the bends. My dad told me he had the bends when he was in the Navy, and it wasn't fun. He had to go in a hyperbaric chamber for like hours. He told me that's why I tell people like other divers, like you just gotta be patient, be calm, because like I've seen so many divers get in situations just with fish, certain kind of fish and stuff like that, like sharks. Sharks are not like what people see in the movies. I've dove with sharks, so many different. I haven't. The only shark I haven't dove with was a gray white. Um, that's the only shark I haven't dove with. But other sharks I've dove with, like they don't really bother you. They're more just want to be by themselves. Sometimes you'll see divers play with sharks and stuff and pet them and
What?
feed them. Like you'll see some people do dumb things like that, but like, yeah, you just you're in their atmosphere, so you respect them and just keep away from them and you know just have fun.
Now, being that you're underwater on these, shipwrecks and caverns, and you're potentially hearing voices and catching phenomenon that most of us, when we're on an investigation and something like that happens, we panic or there is a fear reaction that occurs. Does that have any impact on like air supply?
Yeah, the more you breathe, the more air you use. Like me, I'm an air hogger, so I use a lot of air. So, but like you just gotta breathe calmly and just not freak out because one little thing, it could go like that, like something bad, and that's how dangerous diving is. It's like there's some dives that we're getting ready for. Hopefully, I'm waiting for my buddy who dives with me. We want to do like the um the Bermuda Triangle up in the Keys area. So we want to do some shipwreck diving over there that have been missing. We want to find them. There's some planes that we want to find underwater that have been gone since World War II. So there's a lot of dives we got that hopefully are coming in the near future. That'll be really cool to be able to do some paranormal diving.
I think you're officially my new hero. I would never do this, by the way. I'm easily claustrophobic. I don't like being in the ocean, so that would be well beyond what I could do. But that's really crazy and awesome. So what you're saying is, because it does affect the air supply, probably people who want to try this, not only do they need to learn to scuba dive in general, but maybe
Hmm.
also go on intense land investigations, learn how to regulate their breathing before doing that underwater.
Yeah, and plus, like night diving is creepy too because you don't know what's around you. Let me give you an example. I did a dive it was up in New York, like way up in New York, where the visibility was zero. So literally, I had the most powerful dive light that they have out there. That's supposed to be that could bright up the whole water. I couldn't even see the light in front of my face. So when you're in like situations like that, you don't know what's around you, what's under you, what's beside you. You just gotta hope and pray that like you could just feel around and hope that you could just grab things and go up a little bit to see where you're at and then go back down.
That's crazy. It's scary enough, like on land. I can only imagine in the water. Nope, thanks.
Imagine like it's like being blindfolded and put
Yeah,
in like a
Yeah.
haunted house and saying, "Go have at it."
yeah, no thanks.
well, speaking of blindfolds, like in that particular situation, have you ever brought like a spirit box trying to do like the Estes method in the water?
No, we haven't done anything like that. Like it's hard to do a lot of stuff like that underwater because of just the vibrations and stuff like that. But we're always trying new techniques and stuff like that underwater. Especially in the pools, we try like experiments to see if we could use like EVPs in a different way and try different cameras that will work at night and just give us a brighter image of those balls of light that we see a lot of times at the shipwrecks. Um, yeah, we're always trying to. play with new gadgets and stuff like that. Because you got to waterproof that stuff. Because they don't have a underwater waterproof voice recorder yet. So we have to
I
make our.
sense a new market for you.
I know, but it's fun because we get to create stuff and get to try new things and have fun with it.
Like, could you put in headphones at all? I don't know if that's a thing, like listen to music or like play music or like I was saying, like with a spirit box, you could just have that under your wetsuit and have it like connected to your ears, right? Is that something that could be possible?
Well, we have something like we have full face masks that have like a earpiece that we could talk to. Like we have intercoms that I could talk to the next diver next to me, and we'll hear each other talk. But it sounds more of a how can I say it, muffled kind of. But you can hear what they're saying most likely. But I don't know. Maybe someday we'll come up with something like that. That would be cool to do something like that with a box or anything like that to be able to communicate with the spirits underwater.
I almost feel like that would be a safety risk, though, wouldn't it? Because you want to be able to hear each other. And if you start to bring in like interference, if an emergency happens, because you are in a more dangerous situation,
Yeah.
that like that you may not want to play with that. I don't know. Or you have maybe like one receiver for your Mayday and one with the music. I don't know.
Well, the cool thing about diving is we do sign language underwater.
Oh, cool.
So if that fails, we use sign language like that we're okay or we got to go up. So there's all different kind of sign languages that we use, or if there's a shark
What's the shark
or
one?
pretty
What's
much.
the what's sign language for ghost? I have a ghost.
Goes.
Pretty
I
much.
don't
We haven't made one, but we'll have to make one up for that one.
just you got to come up with something. I don't know. Just boo.
Use the middle finger.
I mean, I do have a 3D printed ghost that's flipping the bird on both hands. So, hey, why not? Now, what's the most interesting thing that you've caught to date on a paranormal scuba dive?
I would say, like I say, voices in those air pockets and these weird balls of light that like just you see them and they go away and disappear. Those are the most intriguing things because, like you said, you only have so much underwater compared to what you do have on land. Because on land, there's so much like more that you could like collect as evidence, but underwater, it's still a gray area. So, like I said, pretty much those balls of light in those air pockets that when you get those voice phenomena are really cool, especially when you hear like pretty much you say spirits or dead people that who passed away in those shipwrecks that are still stuck there.
Is there anything coherent you're able to get? Like when you're hearing those voices in the pockets, can you understand? Because I know it's underwater, so it's a little trickier. Are you able to understand what they're actually saying, or is it just like the muffled kind of watery voice?
It's like muffled. It's like a mumble,
Okay.
Like you'll hear a yeah, like hi, like kind of like that, kind of like what you hear up above land and stuff like that. Because you're in that dry pocket, you're just hearing whatever that like EMF is in that area.
Would there be less interference underwater? Like brain fart, sorry. Like noise interference? I mean, I know the ocean makes its own noise and everything, but like would there be like less contamination, I think, for stuff like that?
It all depends because you gotta remember you got boats out there that got frequencies and all kind of stuff, and then you got echolocation with animals contacting each other, and you got sound buoys that the Navy has out there. That's how the actual. I don't know if you guys remember that whole that submarine that
The
imploded.
Titan.
Yeah, they heard the sound before it actually happened with those sonic microphones, underwater microphones, hydrophones. Sorry, hydrophones, underwater hydrophones, and that's how they heard that exploded before the whole thing, the whole news hit the airwaves.
I know with investigations, oftentimes before you even get anything, a lot of it is just waiting and waiting, right? It could be 10, 12 hours of just nothing.
Yeah.
With you guys having limited oxygen supply, you can't wait that long. So, how long are your dives typically?
Per tank, it's about we're lucky if we get 15, 20 minutes. If you don't, if you're not like a hog breather. It all depends, but like then you have to go up and change a tank, and then you go back on the dive. So about 15, 20 minutes per dive. Because once you got to go up, you got to go up. You have no choice to go change that tank out.
Have you ever had any experiences with? So I think about like animals, right? Dogs, they have a sense. They sense, paranormal. Like, do you ever see like dolphins coming around when you're starting to experience this kind of stuff? Like, is that something that you would? I would tend to believe that maybe dolphins have that they can tell that there's something weird going around.
I think they would. I never had the experience or anything like that. Um, Not in my experience of diving, no. But I'm sure it has happened. I believe that animals could sense things, uh, just like dogs and cats could see things like we can't, and I feel like underwater, why not them do it too, um, with their sensitivity, like dolphins, like how they sense other dolphins and other animals coming their way.
I know the shipwrecks are probably easier to determine, like, okay, I want to visit that one, or this is the next one I'd like to go to. But how do you determine which caverns you want to explore?
Caverns, it all depends on the areas you want to go to, like places like Ginny Springs. I don't really like doing caverns because they're very dangerous, and you gotta be really well trained for them. But like I've heard stories where people have like in these air pockets had like weird eerie experiences in them. But in my experience, not really much because like I said, I try to stay away from caverns or caves and stuff like that because it's a whole new level of diving.
Hey, I've seen the scary movies of what happens when people go into caverns and caves. I wouldn't go near them either.
Yeah, I've been like I said, I've been in caverns, but I've had a couple of close calls, so that's why I kind of push myself away from them.
Do you have a favorite place?
My favorite place is I love diving in the Keys. There's so many shipwrecks out there. There's some plane wrecks, a lot of cool coral reefs and stuff like that. Like a lot of pirate shit, old pirate wrecks. Sometimes we do some like treasure hunting out there with metal detectors, underwater metal detectors. We'll take out there to see if like maybe we'll find gold one day or swords or underwater guns. A lot of cool stuff.
I know BJ and I are total anthropology archaeology nerds. And I know over the past, like, what decade, they've been finding a lot of cities
Yeah.
underneath the ocean, just as plates have shifted and the earth has changed in terms of landscaping. Have you ever gone to or have you considered exploring those kind of underwater cities that are now long gone?
I would love to. That would be a dream come true. Like I said, the Bermuda Triangle is like one of my top hits. They say there's some underwater cities there that we don't know about, and it's all part of the adventure. There's so much stuff like underwater that we don't even know about. That's very secretive. Like these animals that are these certain type of fish are coming up from the deep water, and we're seeing them out of nowhere in California and no one ever knew they existed, and it's just cool. We're just finding new creatures every day, it seems like, finding new areas to discover.
I've seen the movie The Megalodon is next. He comes up from the ocean cloud.
Well, there's been stories that people have seen the megalodon.
Oh
Ooh.
my gosh, no. And you wonder why I don't want to go in the ocean.
Well, now the people ask like how come people are finding so many megalodon teeth and stuff and they're not fossilized? And my theory is because and they're finding them fresh, like they've just come out of the mouth. And if this was a prehistoric dinosaur shark, so they say, which it is, but like if it wasn't alive, it would be a fossil, right? That would make more sense. But these they're huge. They're like bigger than my two hands together, and they look fresh, like it just came out of the mouth. And I really believe that like people have said they've seen them. I think they're still around to this day.
Do you want to have an encounter with one?
Nope. Nope. I'd be out of that water quicker than you could say, hey.
I was gonna say, if you're trying to keep me out of the ocean, you're doing a great
Yeah,
job.
that's a good way to do it. Yeah, regular size shark's bad enough. Give me that. Nope. I'll
Nope.
Oh
stay in
my
my
goodness.
swimming pool. Yep.
Well, I dove with gators before, so that's
Oof.
That's fun.
those are another dinosaur that's interesting. Well, it didn't intentionally happen that way. I was diving, but there was one underneath me, and I didn't know it until I looked down. I saw him resting in the tall grass. I was like, "Oh, hi, fella. Bye, fella." Like, hi, bye, kind of thing. Bye, Felicia, kind of thing, and just dove away very slowly, and just left him alone.
Now, what's the furthest that you've gone? Like how the furthest dive?
Deep or
Yeah, how deep? Like the furthest deep. That's a weird way to say that. Sorry.
I would say probably 175 is my deepest, close to 200. But I think that's the deepest I've been. Now, my dad's dove deeper than that. I won't go any deeper than that because there's so much stuff you have to deal with, and you have to stop at each stage and you gotta stop, and then you gotta go, and then stop. So the air pockets,
Is that different from going in like a lake, right? Or like a loch? Like, like have you ever tried to go like have you ever thought about going to, Scotland and going into the lochs and seeing if you could find Nessie or anything like that?
Oh, I would love to. Oh, heck yeah. That would be another dream come true. It's funny you say that because there's a kind of a Loch Ness story in Georgia. I can't remember what it's called, but we got invited to dive the lake area there because they said they've seen this kind of long neck kind of dinosaur creature that has disturbed people while they're fishing and boating and took their fish and their nets and a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So yeah, there's stuff we want to do like that too, and to be able to see what's underwater, see if it's actually true.
Have you ever been in a situation where you're on a dive, whether it be a cavern or a shipwreck or any of those instances where you're kind of tempted to go like a little further?
There's times like there's tight areas where you think you could fit through, and you're like you try to like go towards it, and you're like, no. So you kind of turn it around. Like I'm not gonna sacrifice my life today. So
You're going to
yeah,
become one of those air pocket voices.
yeah, pretty much.
I do like the thought of the orbs and the lights as maybe not paranormal, well, as like aliens, right? Could be, right? I think of the
Hmm.
abyss, right? And I think about all these different movies that there could be stuff coming out of the water that's not from this planet, right? Um, do you think that there's some connection to that, or do you think it is like orbs from from a spirit?
Or a fish.
It's funny that you say that because like the whole UFO thing has been going crazy lately, and the drones, and supposedly the UFO stuff comes underwater. I think part of I mean, it's only a theory, but like I think part of it could be UFO or ish, or it could be a spirit. I don't know. That's why I love doing this and the research of it, and be able to have hands-on experience to be able to see this stuff. Because even though we may never find out what it is, it's just really cool to be able to have that experience. Because then we could be able to tell these stories to other people, and they'll be like, "Wow, that's so cool!" Because, like I said, diving's not for everybody, so nobody's going to really be able to have that experience. But when you get these people that have had the experience, they could tell that story to people that would love to feel that adventure with you.
I mean, you are a UFO curious guy.
Oh
And
yeah.
over the past few years, I mean, there is a theory that is becoming more prevalent that aliens are under the ocean because, humans really aren't. We can only go so far, we can only go so deep. And I'm curious, with all of the dives you've done, have you come across stuff, even if you're on your way? So, not even like necessarily at the shipwrecks, but on your way, have you ever come across anything other than the orbs where you're like, that's different?
Yeah, it all depends. Like, there's some things that you're like, well, that doesn't belong there, or this doesn't sound right. There's some instances, but is it UFO? I don't know. Sometimes I leave it to like paranormal more than UFOs with our experience. But the balls of light, yeah, that's a very interesting aspect on it because it could be UFOs. We don't know because now that everything's coming out now and to light that supposedly the outer space is not real and the aliens live underwater and they have their own underwater city and stuff like that and it's a space. The moon landing wasn't real, and it's a talk right now going on with everything with this whole UFO craze.
Well, and there's got to be a low number of people who actually do what you do or experience these things, right? Like the percentage of like the world population, it's got to be very, very small. So the chances of you guys actually finding stuff has got to be much higher than, the everyday guy who goes out to try to find UFOs, just out in the wilderness or whatever versus under the water, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's not a lot of divers out there. It's very far and few between. Especially, it's a very expensive hobby. Just the dive gear alone is very expensive. You pretty much become broke by the time you buy all your gear and stuff like that, especially when you got to get it fixed. But it's yeah, like I said, it's very far and few between people do this hobby or sport or whatever you want to call it. Um, but yeah, I feel like more people have experiences underwater that do it. But you probably don't hear about it a lot because, like, every time I talk about paranormal diving, I'm like, you do what? So it's very interesting to be able to talk about something that's a breath of fresh air because, like, not a lot of people do this stuff, what we do underwater.
I'm going to take it back because I know you had the lead into scuba diving because of your dad, but how did you get into paranormal investigating?
Oh, well, that's another story.
We're here for it. We're here.
Oh no, that started when I've always had experience with the paranormal since I was a little kid. I would see shadows all the time. Experiences with just hearing voices, and just seeing weird things attached to people. And ever since like I got older, I wanted to know more and more about it and help other people. And some of these, which was funny because like as I got older, like towards like 13 and up, like I got more into church and stuff like that because I was going through before 13, I was going through a hard life with like depression and all that stuff and being picked on and all that stuff when you're a kid, that you have to deal with. And then I like went to church. Someone invited me to church, went to church and stuff like that. And like I was still experiencing paranormal stuff at that time, but it was like it kind of brought me to a point where like I wanted to help people in a way. So as I got older than that, and then it just went from there. Just I just kept helping people and just wanted to research it more, and then I got into diving and paranormal diving and shipwrecking and a whole bunch of cool stuff.
And when you say helping people, helping them in terms of like how?
Just with the issues, like there's some people that were like they felt like something was attached to them, being depression and stuff like that. So like my stuff that I went through, I got to be able to help them through their tough times, and whatever that detachment was, it went away from them because it felt paranormal and not in a good way because I've had instances where I've been attacked by whatever entities during this time I was going to church. I call them, I don't want to say them demonic or anything like that because that word gets thrown out a lot in the paranormal. So I'm going to say negative. negative entities that I've always been attacked by because they're like, well, I don't like you going to church. Why are you going to church? Why are you doing this stuff? Why are you helping people, out? And that's what made me want to do it more. Every time I've been attacked, and I was like, yeah, I want to help people more and help them more and just be able to just show people the light that they don't have to be afraid of this thing, whatever it is, or this creature or thing you're facing in your life. You know what I mean? Because I feel like there's more to that in life, and that's why I think so many people see these things that are negative as they're just going through a tough time and they just don't know how to let it go. If that makes sense.
No, it does. My mind's gonna go on a little bit of a weird journey for a moment because there's a lot of lore, right, that surrounds, depending on culture and beliefs, that surrounds like paranormal and specific types of entities. And I kind of wonder, by investigating paranormal in the ocean, is there something about the salt water that maybe kind of dissipates negative entities? So you're really only dealing with a specific type of energy or entity in the ocean when you're going to these shipwrecks.
Uh, Not that I'm aware of.
You fighting demons down there?
Who knows what's honestly, you never know what's down there. Maybe that is hell down there, and
Oh God.
I've just been swimming in it.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Yeah, I feel like we are now, the way the world's going.
Now, speaking of things down there, I know you're also a cryptids kind of guy. Have you
Oh
come
yeah.
across anything in the ocean that people talk about? I don't want to say mermaids, but things that we don't typically see.
No, I haven't experienced anything like cryptid side, but I have up above, on dry land, like Dogman. We've that kind of like disappeared out of nowhere, and I kind of think it was like a skinwalker, kind of in a way, because we were filming, me and my friend who's also a diver. We were filming about a spook light that comes out at night and just goes around these trees and chases people out of the park. And we were filming, and his wife was holding a light, and all of a sudden this creature went right into this light area, and we could see the freaking the ears, and this thing was tall and masculine. I know it wasn't a Bigfoot because like a Bigfoot is like broad shoulders, like huge and hairy. This was like kind of skinny, tall with ears, and it just lanky looking weird. And we look at it like, "Do you see that?" We're like, "What the hell was that?" And it disappeared right into the woods, just gone in seconds, and you could hear it going. So it's yeah, it's pretty eerie. Stuff like that when you see stuff like.
What do you do? Like you're always searching for something, right? But what do you do when you
Yeah.
find it, right? Do you get them like, Ghostbusters,
Get him.
Get her.
I wish I wish I wish it was that easy, honestly, because honestly, if I came across a Bigfoot or anything like that, I'd probably go hug it or something like that, or tie him up and bring him home. So, like, I mean, I've had like Bigfoot experiences where I've had rocks thrown at sticks. We've seen big footprints, and actually, right in my parents' yard, where they live up in Florida, North Florida, we've had some few prints out there and experiences that are like freaking wild. But yeah, it just no, it'd be cool to be able to hug a Bigfoot or something like that, or whoever it is out there. Because I'd be like, "Thank you, man. You're awesome."
I love that so much. If you saw Bigfoot, what would you do? I'd hug him.
Definitely, I think the first person we've ever heard say that.
I should make
And
a
I
shirt
love
that
it.
says that. I should
Hug
make
a
a shirt that's
Bigfoot.
hug a
Hug a
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
yeah.
Then they might think that's me, and then I start getting hugs out of it. They're like, "What?"
It might get weird.
Might get weird, yeah.
Weird is fun sometimes.
Right? What area were you when you saw Dogman?
I was in our Cape Coral, Florida.
Okay, so it's Florida.
Yeah.
So it sounds like Florida is where it's popping.
Oh man, there's a lot of weird stuff in Florida. We got between like, well, our Bigfoot's called the skunk ape. We got the skunk ape, we got snakes, we got boa constrictors, we got gators, we got spiders that are bigger than your hand or your face. We got a whole bunch of weird crap here. And for bears, yeah, we're called Jurassic Park for a reason.
I'm gonna stay on my area of the country.
Yeah, burn it down.
We got mosquitoes that can lift you up. Like they're huge.
No thanks.
That's true.
Bench
It's
press
very
you.
true. When I went to Florida like forever ago, like gigantic dragonflies, freaking grasshoppers. It was
Yep.
ridiculous. And then we went to West Virginia and everything was like normal size, but then multiplied by like
Yeah.
a million.
We got the bird spider that's like bigger than your face. It eats birds.
I mean, we live
Yeah.
out here in Colorado, and obviously there's a lot of animals out here too, but like nothing crazy like that, right? Nothing that gives you that kind of vibe, right? I mean, you don't want to run into mountain lions or really bears and stuff, but like I don't know, like the chances of running into those animals, it's not very, much. But I feel like out in Florida, it's not just one thing, it's just a bunch of different big weird things. And you're here for it?
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight about the bird spider. Okay,
Yes, look
like
it
the
up
bird
and look what
spider
it
is
looks
gonna be
like.
nightmare fuel
It's
for me.
ridiculous. It's creepy as hell.
No, I'm not doing that tonight. I will. Nightmares.
Well, a lot of times we'll investigate out in the woods where we'll be in like knee deep in the swamp, so we have to wear snake boots, water boots, and you never know if there's a gator in there or a snake crawling. So we're out there knee deep in the swamp investigating for Bigfoot and all this stuff. So yeah, we come with protection while we're out there.
No wonder you want to hug a Bigfoot. You're dealing with all this other Jurassic Park shit.
Yeah, I'd rather hug a Bigfoot
Like,
too.
come here, furry man.
Have you had a sketchy situation before with just regular animals that were around there?
Oh, we've had like wild hogs that would run past us and stuff like that, and big spiders, some gators, but it all depends. Like you gotta just be careful. Oh, we got mountain lions too, and all that stuff. So and Florida panthers, all that cool stuff, and iguanas that are bigger than your body.
That's a thing?
Yeah, they're huge. You don't want. Yeah, you don't want to get hit by them. They'll hit you with their tail, and it hurts. It's like a whip. They'll whip you in the back. They don't mess around.
Oh gosh. I have like an order of operations of fear. Like I will face off with a demon any day, but these bird spiders and like body size iguanas, y'all keep that.
Yeah, we got it all.
Could you ride one?
Probably. Get a saddle on that bad boy.
I would ride the iguana. Woo!
Top 3 cryptids that you'd like to meet besides Bigfoot.
Oh gosh, Mothman.
You want to meet Mothman?
Oh, that'd be cool. He'd probably kill me by the time I see him.
I was gonna say, would you hug him too?
Probably. I would say a witch, but I've already seen a witch in the woods. I can tell you about that story. Oh, Dogman. Well, I already saw that. I don't know. Well, Nessie. I'd love to see Nessie. That'd be a cool one. And I don't know. Really? Oh, a chupacabra. That'd be cool. Take him home and pet him.
I would want to ride Nessie too. Okay. Like, you guys remember the never-ending story, like riding Falcor? I would ride Nessie like riding Falcor.
Heck yeah.
And I'd be singing the never-ending story song.
Of course, you would have to.
I'd have to.
That's too funny.
But chupacabra, really?
Yeah, chupacabra. I'll take it home.
I mean, I know I'm creepy enough to want to meet chupacabra, but I don't think I've met anybody else that would say that they'd like to meet chupacabra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's go.
We're doing it. We're finding a chupacabra, but you get to hug it. I'm not hugging it.
Okay, I'll hold him.
We'll take it home.
So you had a story about a witch?
Witch in the woods.
Oh yeah. Well, it was a ghost witch. Apparent.
Yes.
Yeah, that was creepy as hell. When we did that investigation in Kentucky, actually, of all places. The woods there. There was a lore that there was a witch that lived there. Apparently back in the 1800s, and we were all just investigating, having like a good time and stuff. And we saw this lady out in the woods, literally standing there with white hair. I'll never forget this. I was filming this too. I had a body camera, a really a really good body camera, and I knew it was working. I knew it was filming. So I'm filming this whole thing while I'm looking at it. This woman, literally with long white hair, purple dress, like kind of a raggedy, kind of 1800s kind of looking dress, and we get closer and closer, and every time we got closer, the freaking hair on our arms freaking was like sticking up like magnetics. It is weird as hell. And like the closer we got, our chest was getting tighter and tighter. And the lady next to me was like, "We can't," she's telling us we can't go any closer. I'm like, "Well, that doesn't sound good." So we turn around and we head back to the place we were staying at, and the lady that was there that didn't come with us, she was a well-known psychic, and we're like, hey, we had this experience, like, oh, don't tell me, you saw a lady in the woods, long white hair, bending over with a purple dress. As soon as she said that, my heart just dropped. I was like, what? I'm like, I couldn't believe it at first because I'm like, I'm kind of skeptical when it becomes like someone could like sense that or feel that type of energy, or know what it is. And so I took my camera off. I took the little SD card, put it in my computer to check out the image because it was filming the whole time. As soon as I turned it, it says nothing on it. It all erased. So I put it on another computer. Nothing. I put it on 3 computers. Nothing.
That sucks.
Yeah, it looked like it was a burnt SD card. Like it just like everything just disappeared. And till this day, I tried the SD card and it won't work on any other camera. It won't even film anymore.
That's crazy. I'm surprised you didn't try to go hug her.
No, that I won't.
Either that or, kind of Blair Witch kind of type stuff where she puts you in the corner. Nothing.
Yeah, I don't deal with that crap.
Nose to the wall.
Nose to the
No,
wall.
it kind of makes you wonder because you said the closer you got to her, the hair stood up. So I wonder, versus being like afraid, I wonder if it was more like static electric energy and that's also what kind of fried your SD card.
It probably could have been. I don't know. It's weird voodoo stuff. Like, because I know, and they told me in that area they do a lot of rituals over there, sacrificing chickens and all that demonic stuff, and
Like still to this day?
still to this day, blood
Ooh.
sacrificing and all that stuff. So, um, we knew ahead of time they were doing that stuff there. It was a very eerie, creepy area. Plus, there's a lot of UFO and Bigfoot stuff there too, supposedly, what we were told.
Why do you think KFC tastes so good?
Oh my gosh.
It's all the chicken sacrificing.
Yep.
Now, being that it's still active, like it's active practices, what would you do if you stumbled upon something like that? Like a group of people sacrificing or doing some kind of occult practice?
I would be like, see you, Felicia. I'm out of there.
John would go
I mean,
dancing in, shaking the maraca.
but I would pull out an acoustic guitar, sing Kumbaya.
There you go. You could do that, and then BJ can bring his violin, and bada boom.
Sure. I mean,
Bada
you could
boom.
always, I mean, you could always talk to him, right? Maybe. I mean, I don't know if that's something that you would just, maybe that's not a welcoming situation, but you could just gauge it. Be like, hey, like, do you mind if I just observe?
I always think of those horror movies where like someone popped in, they're like, "Get him,
Yep.
he's next."
Murphy.
We're
It's
upgrading
like,
from chickens.
oh no, you never know.
I mean, realistically, I feel like if you came across a group who is they're sacrificing animals and they're doing like a full blood occult ritual, do you feel that would be a safe scenario to be like, "Hey, can I watch you do this?" and ask questions? Like, you might, BJ, I don't know. But, like, I feel like, I don't know, that is a horror movie in the making. Like, "You mind if I just sit on this rock and watch you guys? Can I take a
I
few
mean,
pictures?"
like, I'm a podcaster. Can I interview you guys?
Oh my god, you would get killed immediately.
Could you speak your name, first, middle, and last, into this microphone?
Like, what are you guys doing? Can we talk about what's your favorite subject on
Can I
this
put this
matter?
mic on you real quick? I just got to check the audio levels and then we can get going. Is that cool? Just sign this
What's your
release.
favorite cryptid? Top 3.
Have you seen any UFOs out here?
How do you feel about Satan?
Oof.
I mean,
Oh boy.
I don't know. They may give you the answers you're looking for, but it might come at a price.
Yeah, you might
I don't
die
know.
afterwards. Yeah.
Now, 5 years later, you're sacrificing chickens and you're married to like 3 of the daughters.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, like biblical times.
That could be fun. Question mark.
Having three wives? Oh my god.
I was thinking, a la Dracula, he's got the 3 brides. I don't
You know,
know.
why not?
Why not?
Why not, I guess.
Now, speaking of Dracula, do you like horror movies?
I love horror movies.
Ah.
I love horror
And
movies.
what's your favorite?
Say the thing.
Oh gosh, there's so many. Between Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Night of Elm Street, anything 80s like The Blob,
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock,
Yeah.
Elvira. Well, Elvira wasn't really horror. It was more of a comedy movie.
But she
Chucky.
is the mistress of the dark. She's like the gateway
Yeah,
to horror sirens.
true. Chucky.
Yep. You haven't said
Uh,
Jaws yet.
Jaws is, yeah,
He's
Jaws
like,
is
that's
good.
too on the nose.
Jaws is good. I give Jaws.
I feel like that would be like one of your favorite, right?
It just made me think of like, we're going to need a bigger boat. And then my mind went to, what kind of boats do you take to these dives? Do you rent a boat? Do you have your own boat? I have questions.
We go on these dive boats that they have out there that you got to pay for. Sometimes we'll do that. Sometimes we'll go offshore diving from the beach and walk our way into the water. It all depends. And you just jump off the back of the boat.
And you mentioned that you put equipment inside of like the torpedo cannons. Are you carrying that like with you as you're diving down?
Yeah, we throw it in the water and tie it onto our stuff.
Are you using like GoPros or because I know some of them now they can do the depth, they can like tell you how far you can go down, right? It has a meter on them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are those work pretty well when you get down there?
Oh, GoPros are awesome. They're the ultimate dive camera that I always use. They're amazing. And plus you get good 4K quality under there and stuff with all the settings that they got today.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can't really get audio though, can you?
You would have to have a hydrophone.
Hydrophone, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a microphone, but it's an underwater microphone.
So how to connect these two? If there is a horror creature that which horror creature would you not want to run into under the water?
He said a megalodon.
Megalodon, yeah.
That counts as horror in my book.
So you'd run into Jason, that'd be okay.
Oh, that'd be fine. Well, we could have a party. I could outrun him.
Just swim away from Jason.
Actually, do you have to take any protective gear when you're down there? Like, do you have to take anything to protect yourself from like actual, like sharks and stuff like that?
Yeah, usually I bring a couple of knives and we have a spear gun. You got a hand spear gun that you could bring or a long spear gun. Depends on what you feel comfortable on carrying. But yeah, we do have stuff to protect ourselves
From Jason.
from Jason.
I'd be loaded up with all kinds of things that I could take: knives, spear guns, freaking anything. I would give it. Let's go.
Bazooka.
Yeah, John's coming nowhere near me. We're good.
And I was just thinking the horror movie that would be the worst animal to get into the water. Gremlins.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
I love the Gremlins.
Yeah, but if you imagine them falling in there and then just multiplying just like endlessly in the ocean, and then you're like, I think we should go.
There's no more
I,
ocean left at that point. They just the multiplication on that.
oh my god, you'd be squished by them,
Yeah.
by a fur ball.
Right? Death by fur.
Death by fur.
You ever run into piranhas?
Piranhas? No, I've never ran into a piranha. I ran into barracuda. It's kind of like a piranha.
Was that scary?
Not really. They'll try to like mess with you, but they're not really that scary.
Are there water vampires? Because I know we've seen like Dracula in space, we've seen Dracula on land, but like, have we ever experienced vampires underwater?
No,
I don't think we have.
nope. I've seen fish that are bigger than cars.
That's terrifying.
They're called Goliath groupers.
Again, that's called nope.
Again, you're making me want to stay out of the ocean. He said that's called nope.
Yep, but there's so much sea life out there that is crazy huge.
You saw the spectral witch in the woods. Have you seen other paranormal entities on your investigations? I know you said the shadow people growing up, but like on investigations, have you experienced anything in terms of the visual spectrum?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like one of them's my house. My house is haunted. I see a lot of things that happen. Doors open and shut. See shadows walk around all the time. They mostly play pranks on my like literally on my family. Like they literally like will throw stuff off the wall to mess with people or make the lights flicker on and off. You gotta tell it to stop and it'll stop. We'll hear voices now and then while you're just laying around and chilling. A whole bunch of crazy stuff. But other than that, like, yeah, where we go and stuff, we'll see shadows, and when we do investigations at private homes, we'll get some crazy evidence of weird stuff.
I feel like part of the draw of going underwater and diving might be to kind of escape that. Although you're going into shipwrecks and stuff, but I feel like there might be some, right? Like, do you feel at peace in the water, right? Even though there's all kinds of craziness going around, maybe you don't feel quite as uneasy.
Um, it's when I'm underwater, it's kind of like your I don't know, kind of like your church area. It's a peace, you know. It's relaxing. You can just sit there and relax and float in the water and just look around and look at what was created for us to see, you know. And like I'm not getting all spiritual or anything like that, but like it's beautiful underwater, and all the stuff that you can see, the coral life, the fish life, the just just the nature of it is it's just an awe. It's kind of like looking at the stars at night when there's no clouds, and you're like, wow, that's really cool. You know, it's the same thing. That it's beautiful.
When you go on these dives, do you have to do any extra planning with other like agencies so they know that you're down there diving? Like, do you have to get any kind of permits or permission, or can you just go?
Usually you just go. You just when you're on a dive boat, they have a dive flag, and there's a master diver that's on the boat that lets other boats around know that there's divers in the area. And plus, we have flags and stuff, dive flags. If you see a dive flag, you usually don't go near that area.
Do you ever get commissioned to do dives for paranormal or for any of that kind of stuff?
We do commissions for getting bodies out of water from cars.
Oh,
How often do you have to do that?
Not a lot, but sometimes we'll get a case where there's a person that like ran off the road into the water, and we'll have to dive it and identify to see if there's anybody in the car. And hopefully, there's no. We always hope there's nobody in that car, but there's sometimes in the case there is in an instance where there is somebody in the car that couldn't escape.
Is there anything specific you have to do when you do something like that in terms of like, I know you're already covered in your gear, but like in terms of like potential crime scene or any evidence kind of stuff, do you have to do anything extra special?
Well, number one, we have to get the tag number and stuff, and then we have to call the sheriff's department, and they'll have to ID the car and see if it was a missing car and who if the person like ran away or something or missing. It all depends. Like, but you definitely got to call it in once you see something like that and give them the ID of the car.
So when people, they don't survive, is it something, is it like seatbelts getting stuck in there? Like the crash itself, is that kind of what happens mostly?
It pretty much is the crash because when you hit that water on impact, you're pretty much hit like your head could hit the steering wheel or whatever it could be. And especially when as soon as you hit that water, that car's going down quick. And when you get that pressure of the water hitting against the door, you better hope that like you have one of those before it gets up to all the way. You better have one of those breakaway window things, or be able to cut your seatbelt to get away. If not, you ain't get. There's no way in chance in hell you're going to be able to get out of that car.
This just got really, really depressing.
Yeah, it is. It gets really sad, especially when they're like cold cases that haven't been found in for so long, and like they found a car. Say, like for an example, they'll find a car like that's been there for since the '80s, and they've been looking for that person since then, and they gave up because they don't know where they're at. And there's been cases where they find cars like that because they'll go in the boats and they have radar that could search the area underwater. Because we have the technology now to be able to do that, to be able to search the underwater and stuff like that for vehicles. And they find them. They've been finding them a lot lately, like especially here in Florida, of just cold cases where they finally get discovered after all these years.
On the shipwrecks that you dive to, do you ever find any like remnants of potential people that were on the ship when it was wrecked, like bones or anything like that?
That no, that that all dissipates over time, especially if they're old shipwrecks. They're pretty much gone by fish and all that stuff, and just it's yeah, it's pretty much gone by then. It's like that whole imploded submarine. Like you would think you'd see body parts and stuff, but it was like they all dissipated from the explosion. So you never know. Water is a very weird creature. I do have to say, like you don't want to piss it off.
There's so many questions, so many things that I want to ask you, just because it's something that we're not, like, you're in a very rare field, right? It's not something that a lot of people know about. And I know a lot of people who are very interested in it. And so it's like trying to ask all the questions to make sure that we cover everything.
Just means we'll have to have him on again.
Exactly.
Part two.
Is it fair game whenever you go down there, or is it restricted depending on what it is, like whatever shipwreck it is? Can you just go down there and be like, this is mine, that's mine? Because if you have the equipment, like, who's going to stop you?
Usually it's protected. You're not allowed to bring stuff up. Um, it all depends. Like if you find like coins or something like that, maybe you could be able to take it home. But anything from a shipwreck, you can't really bring up because it's protected by the government.
What if it's in international waters?
I don't know. It all depends. You have to, because they're very strict on a whole bunch of things that goes on. Like those divers that just found $1 billion of pirate treasure, they have to give that to the government to get it checked out, and they'll get a something from it, but they won't get that whole chunk of change. But to be able to discover it and find it, they'll definitely get something big from it.
So, Josh, you also have a podcast. Can you tell us more about your podcast?
Oh yeah, I got a show called Animal Expedition Files, which you've been on. Every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We talk about all things paranormal, cryptids, Bigfoot. Now we're going into the realms of Hollywood and actors, directors, and all kind of movies and stuff like that. So yeah, it's fun to be able to talk to different people and hear different stories and just be able to have an experience with them.
And if people want to stay connected into what your projects are and what potentially your next dive is, where can they find more information about you?
They could go on my Facebook, Animal Expedition Files, or Instagram, TikTok, same thing. Animal Expedition. It's all Animal Expedition Files. YouTube, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Um, Anywhere you can find me. Spotify. So yeah, anywhere you can listen or see social media, I'm there.
Do we have any final questions or thoughts before we start to wrap this awesome episode up?
I just want to say thanks for coming on, and you've definitely been a unique guest for sure. Like this is one of those topics that's just for me. I love it because of I love all these movies that have to do with the water, right? I
Yeah.
just saw recently Piranha 3D. It's terrible, but
Yeah.
but it just got me in the mood for this conversation. Um, but yeah, I'm very interested into knowing more about your process, how you choose specific areas, and all of that for the next time we have you on. So I want to know, if there's places on your bucket list, if there's places that you would go back to because you found something that you want to, do more with, right? So I'm excited to learn more.
Yeah, me too. It's a work in progress. There's so many new adventures that are going to happen. So you never know what we might find or do. Or, like I said, the Bermuda Triangle. I'm hoping to be able to do like a documentary out of it because that place is a special place to me, and I can't wait to be able to experience it because I know there's a lot of crazy things that happen there, especially from other divers. So it's going to be very a wild ride to see what happens.
When do you plan to go there?
Hopefully in the next year or so. That's it's gonna be a big trip.
That's awesome and terrifying and awesome. I feel like a lot of people have fear, right? Fear of the ocean, fear of being underwater, like you said, the claustrophobia, the running out of air. And so the fact that you just like tackle that head on is just holy cow.
Yeah, it's a journey in itself, and yeah, if I would say if anybody who would want to learn how to dive, just go to your local dive shop and start out, and got to go through some things through a course and stuff like that, and a dive test, and it's a lot of work, but like, is it worth it if you don't have those issues? Like I said from earlier, that it's not for everybody. So if you're afraid of the water, afraid to put your head underwater, you're afraid that your ears are going to pop when you go down a certain level and you can't clear it. It all depends. But try it out. Why not?
Oh, why not?
You never know. You never know. You might like it.
Unless it's not for you, not it.
Unless if it's not for you. Yeah.
Well, Josh, this has been awesome. And I know
Yeah.
that we're all going to come up with probably 50 million more questions after we end the episode. So would definitely love to have you back on for a part 2 if you're game.
Oh, definitely.
All right. BJ Segura, would you like to bring us home?
Absolutely. So again, we would love to have you on again, Joshua. Thank you for joining us. You are an amazing guest and you just add so much to what we thrive on is the curiosities of the world up on the land and in the water. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in to this episode of 3Haunted Podcast with your hosts. I'm BJ Segura.
I am Ashley Lunar Goddess.
And I'm John Thomas.
If you have any questions, comments, or episode suggestions, please feel free to email us at 3hauntedpodcast@gmail.com. If you haven't done so already, please like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media. You don't want to miss our amazing guests like Joshua.
And also, don't forget to check out 300podcast.com where you'll find our past and current season episodes, as well as guest information and all kinds of awesome merch.
Until next time.